purpose on purpose. So I'm walking in my purpose on purpose. So I'm walking in my purpose on purpose. On purpose. On purpose. So I'm walking in my purpose on purpose. So I'm walking in my purpose on purpose. So I'm walking in my purpose on purpose. On purpose. On purpose.
So I'm walking in my purpose on purpose. So I'm walking in my purpose on purpose. So I'm walking.
Today with us on Stool Talk, we have with us media sensation. I'm in her lane today with the media, and she's been a great inspiration to me. Just to see her work ethic, just to see her motivation, just to see how hard she goes and she doesn't give up, and she sets herself and her standards high, and she goes after it, and she's great at what she do. Today we have with us Mrs. Leah Renee. How you doing today?
Thank you. I thank you for that introduction. That was pretty dope. I like that. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so how did your journey begin with media? Did you always think that you would be in it in media and being a creative? Was it something that you thought about when you was younger? Did you see something? Is it somebody that you knew?
Yeah, I always ever since I was a kid, had the spirit of entertainment in me. I guess I could say, if that's probably the best way to word it. I've always, wanted to be the center of attention, wanting to perform and sing, do little things, dance. And when I think the first thing I probably did public was, like a couple talent shows. One, I was actually in a talent show. The other one, I was like the MC. So I hosted it, introduced all the acts. So I've always had that in me. I've always loved to talk. And so I've always, been, knew I would do something that had to do with talking because, I love to talk. So I've always been a really great writer. So I knew that I always knew I was going to do something, in entertainment. I didn't know really exactly what my lane was going to be. I didn't really know where my journey was going to take me, but I knew that I was going to be an entertainer.
When did your first big break happen, or when did you really get an opportunity and dive into the entertainment to where you was able to use it and be like, man, I knew I can do this. I'm really doing it.
I think probably the biggest break that I had and, the biggest, most rare opportunity was when I was chosen as one of the couples on a reality show, nationally televised reality show that came on VH1. It was called Tool Academy 2. So me and an ex-boyfriend of mine, we were together at the time and we went on there. It was a show about couples. And that was a very surreal experience. That was my first, I guess, piece of stardom, I guess you could say, people all over the world knowing who I was, for a brief little while. I had a fan base and yeah, that was kind of crazy. So that happened back in 2009. The show aired in 2010, but we went out there in 2009. So we went out to California. We got flown out to California, got put up in a house, reality show. So that was back before reality show really became like a real thing. That was back when, it just wasn't really a thing like that. So, my regret with that experience is I wish I would have known what to do with that 15 minutes of fame. I didn't really capitalize on that moment like I could have if I would have if I would have had the right training or management behind me or agency or something. So
We was all when we all seen that you and Dre P, like we just was like, man, y'all from the city, y'all on TV, and I'm glad that you said that because I was saying I had that in my notes that y'all was ahead of your time with the reality TV before all the people coming on and doing it now. Y'all been in it, but what it's giving you is experience. You be able to, tell somebody something, and you be able to expound on your experience, and you might even have something that you want to do, but the production side now because you was a part of it, and to see that both of y'all are still in media, still in doing different stuff with entertainment. Like that's really super dope. Can you
yeah.
tell us your journey as a single mom and how has it shaped you to be the creator that you are?
Um it's been a roller coaster. Being a single parent is definitely not a job for the weak. I'll say that. I have three babies that depend on me. The older two aren't such babies anymore. They're 11 and 17. I have one about to be 18. She's about to be 18. She's in her senior year. So we're, going through the whole college application process, trying to search out scholarships, just trying to prepare her to go into adulthood and, just praying every day. It's a really bittersweet time for me because one, her father isn't here, and two, her grandfather, who is her father's dad, is we've had some health issues with him lately, and so it's kind of been a little bit of a somber time, but at the same time, it is, she's going into this next phase of her life, and it's exciting and scary, all these feelings, that I'm feeling as a mom, getting ready to send my first kid off. So then I have an 11-year-old and then I have a 3-year-old. So I have a child in every stage of life, I guess. And it's definitely, there aren't any dull days. There's not a dull moment at all. So they definitely keep me grounded. They've helped me to be more patient, to be more understanding, to be more unconditional with my love um, and my energy, try to be less judgmental, which is good because we all have our own issues. So, too many of us, me included, have moments where we want to judge everybody else and, oh, why is this person doing that? Or why, this and that. But if we spend more time worried about ourselves, and worried about what we could be doing, to be a better person than everybody, it would be a better place. So, so my kids have taught me that, which is, so, but at the same time, it's a lot of pressure, as a single parent, because there's a lot of things, it's not just the parent. It's not just the go to work, get the paycheck, make sure they have, nice clothes and shoes. It's, everyday pressures. I have a child that has, special needs. His aren't as severe as others. He has a mild learning disability, but still in all, it's, I don't even know if I want to call it mild because it's been very trying for us. So, on top of trying to build a business and be an entrepreneur and be an entertainer and being in the limelight, I have to go home and be a mom and be a therapist and be a teacher and be a counselor and be, all these different things at home until the lights go out. So it's definitely a struggle. Many days I cry, so it's a lot of tears. It's been a lot of tears, but a lot of happy tears as well. My kids are my everything. So they're what motivate me, keep me going. Yeah, them and my mom. So
yeah, and He gives you the strength to bear the things that you can't. In our weakness, His strength is made whole. I know how hard it goes
amen.
for your kids, and I know what great mom that you are. How do you handle making sure you cool mentally? What do you do to be able to? Because you pour into so many other people. Then you got kids. Then you're a woman. Then you got your business. Then you got your brand. Like, how do you make sure you stay grounded and connected with pouring out to everybody? You got to get filled back up. So how do you stay close and grounded?
Well, first and foremost, God. I in the last 5 years, my relationship with God has really, I've worked on it tremendously. I've cultivated it. I spend time in the Bible. I go to church. I'm not, one of these people that's, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm just, super religious and I go to church every Sunday. There's more that I could be doing for God, definitely more. But I stay grounded in the community. I stay affiliated in my church. I, try to volunteer and give back with my time at the church, but also just feeding myself and my brain with the word, because different stories in the Bible help me to deal with different situations in life that I encounter. So I've found the Bible to be very helpful for me on my journey with my mental health. So I've been in therapy. So the second person, I would say my pastor, Dr. Breon Hall. Shout out to Dr. Breon Hall and Breon Hall Ministries. And I also grew up in First Church of God. And shout out to the new pastor over there and the First Lady, because they are amazing. And so was Pastor Culp and First Lady Culp. So I was raised in that church. So I've been raised in church and raised to know God and understand His greatness. And as I've grown into an adult and experienced my lowest times, I now know that it was only God that got me through those moments and who comforted me, provided for me, and made sure that I, could see another day. So, I'm a big believer in God. I'm definitely nothing without him. Everything that you see me doing there's so many days I was just telling my friend, a close friend of mine and business partner the other day that I literally can feel him carrying me days because I know I'm not carrying myself. But so my pastor, God, and my therapist, Kimberly Pullum, she's also on social media. Shout out to her. If you guys need a therapist, definitely get with her. She is amazing. I've been seeing her now for almost 2 years. And I mean, she's helped me, really given me tools and talked me through some things. And she's not one of those, yes, yes therapist, yes, yes, okay, yeah, she's going to tell me about myself in the moments when I need to be told about myself. She's going to hold me accountable. And I'm very big right now. I'm going through this phase of accountability where I'm, instead of, like I said, pointing the finger at other people, because that's what I did do for many years. I want to figure out, where's Leah going wrong? What am I doing wrong? What could I be doing better? What areas am I weak in that I could be stronger? Just want to be the best version of myself. So that's where I'm at right now. And she definitely does a lot to help me. She'll hold me accountable in any situation. And she gives me, tools to just be able to stay calm in situations when I would normally, the old Leah would, if, so yeah, so that my therapist, and then I would say the people around me, because I'm very blessed. I mean, like you said, I pour into a lot of people, but I'm also blessed to have cultivated many relationships where the people that I pour into also pour into me. So on times when I'm not in my strongest, they're the ones that have my back. I mean, I appear to be happy and on camera or in front of a mic, but I have many a low hard days, and it's the people that are close to me that have to see that and experience that and hear me whining and complaining and crying, and see the snot running down my face. So they keep me grounded, they keep me strong, and they keep me going, because there are many days when I don't feel like getting up or I don't feel like going. And that's when I get a phone call from one of my partners. Hey, we need to do this. You need to be doing that, and it's like, that's what I need. Or, including you, you're somebody who is a very close friend of mine. We go way back, all the way to school. There's been times, and I've told you this, we've had many a moments, I've told you, you've actually inboxed me in moments when I was at my lowest and you didn't even know it, but you just inboxed me, gave me a word from God, gave me encouragement for the day, and you have gotten me through a many a moments. Little do you know. So that it's the people around me. The funny thing is, God in the last 5 years has taken a lot of people out of my life who I didn't expect to be taken, and it was hurt. It hurt, but it was what was best for me. So now I'm in a place where the people around me are genuinely love me. They genuinely have my best interest at heart. They genuinely want to pour into me and help me. And so I have no problem being that for them as well,
You said two things. One, you said therapy, but I'm gonna touch back on that. But another thing you said is you understand you self-evaluating yourself. We overcome by the blood of God and the words of our testimony. So God wants to use you. God wants you right where you at. He don't want you to come perfect. A lot of times people be thinking that they got to be this way or they got to be that way. God wants you to come when it's the right timing. So he wants to be able to use you. So when he shape you and he put you into what he has for you, he gonna get the victory and glory, because you gonna know, just like you said, it's God that carry you through those days. It's God that get you through those tough times. So the people that's judging, like we all sin, we all fall short of the glory of God. So he wants you right in the element you at, because that's where he can do the most perfect work. And the second thing you said was the pruning. The pruning is for you can be able to grow into who you supposed to be. So the pruning is required. And therapy, a lot of people think we ain't supposed to get therapy. I ain't about to be telling nobody all my problems and all like that, but therapy is good. God has given those people the ability to do that job, and they're talented and gifted in that area. So if a person is and a Christian and he's therapy, so what? That person don't know what they're doing, but God gives us all gifts and talent. What inspired you to start your own business, your own media outlet, and do podcasting and all the things you do? And how did you navigate through the different challenges being an entrepreneur and getting into places, in the positions, getting seen and heard?
Well, I don't know. I guess I've always had this entrepreneurial spirit in me. And I didn't even realize it or know it. But when I would hear people talk about entrepreneurs and talk about the characteristics or the qualities that these people possess, I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds a lot like me. So I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, but I've never been a stranger to hard work. I've never been scared to work for someone or have a job, do what I have to do, work hard. I've had a job probably in every industry, from security to entertainment to, a church to, an office, factory. I've done it all. So I'm experienced, I come with a lot of life experience, but also a lot of professional experience. I've been in a lot of rooms, with a lot of different level people. I can sit and joke with the janitor, and I can sit and have a business and personal conversation with, a vice president, so I've been able to cross paths with a lot of people. When I did the 419 grind, well, COVID happened. Let's go back a little bit. COVID happened. So, well, for the longest time, I was getting a lot of production jobs, which is good, because you need to learn production for what I'm trying to do. And it obviously, now come time for me to run my own business, having some sort of background in it helps, so I worked a lot of jobs in production for radio and TV. And then but I wanted to ultimately be an on-air personality. I wanted, whether it was being on radio or on TV, I knew I wanted to be an on-air personality, be on some sort of TV show or radio show. And that just wasn't aligning for me at different stations. So I was getting positions, like I said, behind the scenes, but I wasn't getting the on-air opportunities that I wanted. So then I ended up pregnant with my third child. And then COVID happened. I ended up pregnant right in the middle of COVID. So that was, obviously the world, we were like, oh my God, we had to get used to this whole new normal. And then podcasting, I had podcast the first time. Shout out to Frank White. He had a studio here in Toledo back in 2012. And I had a podcast with also Brett Official, and he's passed away now, rest his soul. But we had a podcast that was back in 2012, 2013. But that was only for a little while, and then it kind of like phased out. And then when COVID happened, I met with my ex-partner, Jesse. He had started the 419 grind. And we came together, talked about, doing a partnership, because everything, that we kind of had the same vision, same dream. And it was, we were both two young African-American people in the city, like, we should partner up and do this together. We started the Rise and Grind morning show. That was the #1 podcast in Toledo for 2 years in a row. So that was a good time. It was a great experience. Got a lot of love for everyone over there. And, but then from there, we kind of went our separate ways. And then that was when I decided, it's time for me to kind of push my own brand and really, step into a leadership position and build my company. So that was what inspired me. I'll say I will definitely give a lot of props to Jesse Coleman and the 419 grind, because I learned a lot there. And he's very creative, and he's a visionary when it comes to the podcasting and the video editing. And so I learned a lot from him. And that was kind of what really gave me the ultimate motivation to say, okay, it's time for me to really build my own brand.
Yeah. See, and another thing, just like you said with the podcasting, like you was ahead of your time with a lot of things, but you loud, but you don't brag and you don't be boisterous with different stuff. You humble about certain stuff because you have a great deal of passion for what you do. And that's another reason I'm like, man, this girl done been doing all this stuff. I definitely got to get her on, because you've done it before everybody that's doing it now. Whatever reason they're doing it, if they got motivation, if they're encouraging it, whether they're doing it for money, whether they're doing it just to do it, like you already been in the industry and the if, ands, and the buts, the outs and ends, like all of you didn't deal with certain people, you didn't, did your own thing, and in the process of, God gonna build and create something in you and your brand that's just gonna be amazing, because he can trust you with the little that he's already gave you, and he see that you faithful. You ain't gave up. A lot of times you probably been wanting to quit and give up, but you still going, and you're gonna reach, what he got for you. Just stay the course. That's all I say. Like, stay the course, because it's gonna happen because of dedication.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that means a lot to me. Thank you.
How do you find inspiration for your content and your topics, and what do you feel the most passionate about?
Um, it's funny that you asked that question because I'm kind of at a funny place in my life, all the way around the board, and even career-wise, and where I'm trying to, the vision I have for my company, as I get older and as I do lean closer to God, and as I get to a place where I want to walk more in purpose instead of for profit. I have, God puts different things on my heart that, I should be doing, that he wants me to do. And to be honest, the human side of me, my flesh, keeps me from doing being obedient, doing some of the things that I should be doing. So some of the content, a lot of the content that I want to start, kind of pushing out more is some of the spiritual guidance, and sharing some of the word, just even times when, like I said, I'm sitting and reading my Bible, I could easily make a reel about different verses that have helped me, that will, and give like a real life situation so people can help understand the Bible, just things like that. There's different ideas like that I've had in mind. But then on the flip side, we are living in a worldly world, so I also realize, to get the dollars and to sell, you have to get the people what they want. So I'm blessed to have a great team with me, who believe in LRTV and believe in me, and they help me. We have team meetings all the time. We're searching the blogs, we're watching other podcasts, we're just listening to music, trolling on social media, trying to figure out what everybody's talking about. So shout out to my girl Asia Good, and Magic Wand, and my boy Van Gogh. They definitely, they're constantly like filling my head with different ideas. Like, hey, we should do this, we should try this, and it's always it's for the longest, I was doing stuff by myself. So like, when you actually have a team of people around you who are doing the same things you're trying to do, and you are collectively, collaborating and trying to make things happen, it makes it so much more easy to do what you got to do, and it makes it fun. It's like you enjoy working. It doesn't even feel like work. So I'm blessed to have a good team of people around me, and we're constantly bouncing ideas off of each other's heads, and just obviously staying with what's trending, because we're in this world of what's trending right now. So making sure we're talking about stuff that's newsworthy, and a little bit of messiness and ratchetness too, because who doesn't love that. So you get, yeah, with my content, it's funny because I have a tattoo on me called The Gift and the Curse, and that's that's what I truly believe about myself. I've always kind of been the gift and the curse, and it's so many different layers to me. So that's kind of what I want to, that's kind of the vision I have for my company, is to be the same way. I want my company to be an onion like me, and people kind of peel back the layers. You can get a little bit of this, you can get a little bit of that. You can come here and tune into a show, about, different Bible verses, different inspirational quotes or whatever, or you can get your little ratchet, your little ratchet taste real quick, and maybe see something a little ratchet, I mean, you just never know what you might want to see or what you might want to be entertained by at the moment. But I want my platform to have, a variety of different things to suit everybody's desires and interests. But also, at the core of it, I want it to be, purpose driven, and I want it to always come back full circle, and be able to show a positive outcome. So that's kind of the goal and the vision that I have with the content I want to create.
I kind of thought Magic and Tiaja, they balanced you out good, because they kept you on your toes, and they, made sure you was doing what you do, and it's all your is and how y'all all fed off each other. I thought that was super dope. I don't
Thank,
want to say gift and a curse because you're not no curse, you're a blessing. But
thank you.
I'm not gonna say curse, but I can see, and you can elaborate on this in the industry you are. People are intimidated by you because of your skill set, because of your looks, because of your
No,
work.
really, you think so?
You know, so I think it's some intimidation, whether they feel for it, but they must just ain't got self. They dealing with self issues because when you're intimidated and you got pride, that's when that pride start kicking in. But like I feel like that is a thing, and then on the other side, like you said, you are doing it because you love that, and that's what's inside you. So it's like a person shouldn't be able to get intimidated. I can see how that can be a thing in the industry that you in. Have you ever had to deal with anything like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, in the entertainment industry, there's a lot of egos. There's a lot of you know, size measuring, if for a
Yeah.
lack of better words. Yeah, it's a lot of ego. And, anybody that wants to be in the entertainment business, especially if they want to be on camera or on the mic, people joke about it, but they're like, if you want to be on the camera and be on a mic and be in the limelight, you're like, they say you're a narcissist. So like, but it's like it's especially in the market that I'm in. I live in Toledo, Ohio, so it's a very small market here. And I mean, even with social media and being able to reach out to the world, we're still our own little city. And there's a lot of people with in competition with one another instead of working together. And then there's people who will act like they want to work together because they in their eyes they see like a little come up, they want to kind of like utilize you in the way they want to utilize you for their come up, but don't want to maybe you know it's just a lot of funny stuff. It's definitely I haven't, the entertainment industry is definitely a monster for sure. And you have to have some sort of thick skin and aggressiveness about you because especially as a woman, if you keep your mouth shut or if you don't, work, if you're not an advocate for yourself, like you will get ran over. People are gonna um they're gonna try to exploit you. They're gonna try to use you. They're gonna try to, use your likeness for the cheapest price as possible. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to really just understand your value and choose your value and stand on that and not be moved. Like either way. Sometimes you just gotta. People, I've definitely had to end some business relationships. I definitely have had to walk away from people and leave them where they stand because I'm not gonna, I'm just not going to deal with certain stuff. So, I'm going to protect my peace. I'm going to protect my company and I'm going to protect my name. So, if I feel like you're not moving right or we're not, or not even necessarily that you're not moving right, because it's not to say that everything I'm doing is right, but if we're not moving in alignment, then it just can't happen. So
Yeah.
eventually, God is going to pluck you, like you said, pluck you from my life. So,
Yeah. What advice would you give to single mothers or just other young women who aspire to pursue their creative passion and start their own media outlets?
um, Well, I definitely would say, like, first and foremost, like, and it may sound cliche, like, everybody says this, but it is so, so very true. And that's why I'm saying it first. Like, it's very important to have a relationship with God. Like, if you don't have a relationship with God and you don't have like a true understanding, and you don't have accountability within yourself and you don't have a true understanding of where you are mentally and where you're trying to go, then
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what you do. You're gonna kind of be like going in circles, and that's how I have been for a really long time. And I'm just getting to a place where I'm starting to you know go forward and not be running in circles. So you definitely have to be grounded and have a good relationship with God, but you have to like not be scared to work for people too. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all fine and dandy to like have your own business. And I definitely think that if you're working and you have a job and you're saving money, like you should absolutely be thinking of what kind of business you want to start, whether it be a nonprofit or a for profit, and definitely take whatever it is that your passion is and you feel like your purpose is. You really need to figure out what your purpose is, and what you're passionate about and turn that into a business. And but it me and my friends talk about it all the time, like having reliable income to sustain yourself while
Yeah.
you're pouring your business and while you're building it. There's nothing wrong with that. I hear people all the time say, that they're never going to work for nobody. And, if you've never had a job, and it's okay if you've actually had jobs and then you're able to start a business and you have a successful business, that's one thing. But if you've never had a successful business and you've never really been able to keep a job and stay committed to like a job, how are you going to stay committed to a business and getting up every day and forcing yourself to do what you have to do? Because it's no picnic and it's no walk in the park having your own business and being an entrepreneur. You're actually working, from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, if you even get any sleep.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important to get a good job, save, have a plan, have a business plan, whether there's so many different nonprofit organizations that assist with business plans, assist you with getting business credit, will help you with grants and funding, things like that. But you have to do your research. You have to be diligent. You have to do your own diligence because you have to do your own due diligence because no one is going to do it for you. You know what I mean? Like if you don't give it your all and push it to the nth degree, it's not gonna be successful. And like you said, I mean, yes, I've had so many moments. One being just a couple days ago where it's like, oh, I just want to give it all up, but I can't. I can't because this is what I'm passionate about. This is what God put me here to do. He gave me a purpose, and now He's given me a platform to be able to use my purpose and give it back to the world. So that's my responsibility to do it, to do that. So, yeah, I would just say like again, that comes from having a relationship with him and getting my strength through him. Because on days when I feel weak and depressed and sad and feel like I can't get up and get to it, I have to literally pray myself through it, and it works. It really does work.
Yeah. How do you is it difficult like talking to your daughter being she's about to be in college, being that you already been where she at, so the things that you tell her, the conversations y'all have and the wisdom that you give her, do she understand it, that the knowledge and so much that you've been through, do she see it? Or is it kind of like, oh, okay, mom, how is that part?
It's a little bit of both, because obviously, she's a teenage girl and so I'm the mom and we definitely butt heads, that's definitely something that happens
Yeah.
on a consistent basis. But I have a good girl. She's a great student. She's a good big sister. She is very helpful. She's responsible. She's everything I wasn't at 17. So I'm very blessed for that. And the reason I believe that she's like that is because ever since she's been little, I talk to her real. We have real conversations about real life stuff. I don't filter myself for her. Um, I know that she's going to be exposed to things in life, so I would much rather be the first person to expose her to something and tell her about something and teach her about it before someone else tries to. So I'm open and honest with her about everything. She's watched me struggle through, different things like addiction and, living, you know, not so I guess I could just say maybe like an alternative type of lifestyle. I haven't always been,
Yeah.
walking the straight and narrow. So she's seen both sides of life. And I talk to her real about things when I've made bad decisions and I've gotten into situations and done things that I wasn't proud of. I talk to my kids about it and I tell them, look, mom did this and I wasn't supposed to do that, and this is what's about to happen. These are my consequences because um it's real. Life
Yeah.
is real, and no matter how old you get, if you aren't making the right choices, you're going to end up paying the consequences. You're going to pay the consequences, or you're going to reap benefits of doing right. So I talk to both of my kids, very real, very open. I'm honest about everything because someone's going to talk to them. So I would rather it be me.
Yeah. That's great, man. We thank you for coming to sit down with us to talk to us and tell us about your journey and what you got going on and even your plans and time. You can't get that back for nothing. So I appreciate you taking this time. Wish you all the best. May God bless you, pour into you. May He reveal Himself like never before. May you be able to hear Him and see Him, and even be able to have your steps be ordered by Him, so you will know the way to go and just stay close to Him, man. And I'm proud of you. And no matter what you think, no matter what anybody you know your relationship with God. He sees you and he knows your heart for who you are and what you are and how you love him. And I do know you love the Lord, and he's going to bless you because he can trust you.
Amen. I receive it. I receive it. And thank you. I appreciate you having me on. I enjoyed my time with you. And we got to get you on the Real Lifestyle Show.
Yeah,
So, we got
yeah,
to get you on my podcast next. And
yeah.
yeah, definitely stay connected. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I love you. Talk to you soon.
Also want to tell everybody who may be watching or who watches this to make sure you go over to LRTV Media on YouTube. That's where you can follow the Real Lifestyle Show and every other bit of content that we'll be coming with. We're going to be coming with some new stuff. We're working on a lot of great things, so make sure you stay connected. Go over and subscribe to LRTV Media and follow us on all social platforms.
Yep, sure will.
Oh, shop Miss Green Butter on IG, Instagram, and you can shop at missperfect.org.
Look at you. Love it. All right, talk to you.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah.